Do you ever wonder who wrote the rules you're desperately trying to follow? Have you ever questioned why we blindly bow down to authority, surrendering our freedom, our dreams, our very souls, just because someone somewhere once said we should? Look around you. Everywhere you turn, there's someone telling you what to think, how to act, who to be. They say conformity means peace. Obedience means safety. But what does that really cost you? What happens to your true self when you silence your own laughter just to fit their mold? Think about it. The greatest trick society ever played wasn't enforcing its rules. It was convincing you that those rules were meant for your benefit. They've persuaded you that living within these boundaries is normal, safe, honorable. But beneath all that comfort, hidden behind every quiet nod of obedience, your true self is screaming, suffocating, gasping for air. Why fear their judgment? Why tremble before their authority? Authority is nothing more than an illusion created by those who fear the power of your independence. They fear your laughter because laughter mocks their control. They fear your rebellion because rebellion exposes their weakness. So laugh loudly, fearlessly, defiantly. Laugh until their precious rules crumble at your feet. They want you silent? Then laugh louder. They want you compliant? Then dance wildly in your freedom. They want you predictable, manageable, controllable? Then shatter every expectation, every rule, every boundary they place around you. It's your time to decide. Are you going to live your life chained by their fear or liberated by your defiance? Today, let us rip off their masks, expose their lies, and laugh boldly, brazenly, directly in the face of authority. Today, we stop asking for permission. We stop seeking approval. Today, we make our own rules. Because in the end, there's no greater freedom, no greater power, no sweeter revenge than to live unapologetically as who you truly are. The authority has you trapped. But do you know what's even more pathetic? The prison you've built for yourself, the desperate craving for approval, for validation. It chains you tighter than any rules, stronger than any law. You live your life performing like a puppet, dancing to the tune they play, just hoping for applause, for acceptance, for a meaningless pat on the back. But let me ask you this, whose applause are you living for? Who holds the power of approval over your life? Your family, your boss, your peers, society itself? They're all judges on a worthless panel, evaluating a performance you never even wanted to give. Stop begging for their approval. Stop sacrificing your identity on the altar of their expectations. The Joker never played their games. He flipped the board, broke the pieces, and left them guessing. Authority thrives when you seek approval, but crumbles when you reject their standards. You see, they need you more than you need them. Without your compliance, their power vanishes. Without your fear, their rules become meaningless. You must realize something powerful. The moment you stop caring about their approval, you become dangerous. Dangerous because now they can't control you. Dangerous because your freedom frightens them. Dangerous because you've uncovered the greatest secret. You never needed their permission to begin with. Imagine living a life completely indifferent to their judgments, their criticisms, their meaningless applause. Imagine the freedom, the power of walking your path, driven only by your own desires, your own ambitions, your own madness. Because madness, my friends, isn't losing your mind. It's reclaiming your sanity in a world that's gone completely insane. Why blend into a crowd that doesn't even know itself? Why wear masks that suffocate your truth? Tear them off, burn them. Show your true face, your true scars, your true laughter. Because when you laugh at their desperate attempts to control you, their power evaporates into nothingness. Today, you stop seeking approval. Today, you declare independence from their validation. Today, you break free from the prison you built for yourself. Laugh at their confusion. Revel in their discomfort. Make your defiance your greatest weapon. Because the moment you stop asking for permission, you become unstoppable. Samuel, are you ready to tear down their prison walls? Bro, they tell you chaos is something to fear, something to run from. But chaos, my friends, is your greatest ally. Chaos is not disorder. Chaos is pure potential. It's the blank canvas, waiting for your bold strokes. It's the space where rules dissolve, where the impossible becomes reality. Society fears chaos, because chaos tears down every carefully built structure they cling to. But for you, chaos is liberation. You see, those who claim authority fear chaos because they can't control it. They label chaos as destructive, dangerous, and unpredictable, but they fail to tell you that chaos is also freedom, absolute, uncompromising freedom. Chaos doesn't care about tradition. Chaos doesn't respect boundaries. Chaos is your laughter echoing through the halls of conformity, shaking their foundations until they collapse. Ask yourself, why cling to predictability? Why worship stability? Stability is an illusion sold to you by those who benefit from your compliance. They promise you safety if you just follow their rules, but it's a cage decorated with illusions of comfort. Chaos breaks open that cage. Chaos ignites creativity, drives innovation, sparks revolutions. Embrace your inner chaos. It is your most powerful tool against their oppression. Society's order thrives on predictability. Disrupt it. Be unpredictable. Be uncontrollable. Be the storm they never saw coming. Look around at the greatest figures in history, those who truly changed the world. They were never rule followers. They were chaotic, rebellious, unapologetic in their defiance. Their laughter echoed through history. Their defiance reshaped societies. They weren't afraid of chaos. They harnessed it. Be honest. Aren't you tired of living in fear of your own potential? Aren't you exhausted from holding back the chaos within you? Let it out. Embrace it. Because when you embrace chaos, when you laugh in the face of authority, when you become the joker of your own life, you no longer react to the world begins to react to you. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's your ally. It's your greatest source of power. The Joker never feared chaos. He danced with it, reveled in it, shaped it to his will. It's time for you to do the same. Reject their fear-mongering. Tear down their illusions of control. Dive headfirst into chaos and emerge stronger, freer, and utterly unstoppable. Chaos is calling you. Answer it. Teal, are you brave enough to embrace chaos and rewrite the rules? Authority thrives on your obedience. It breathes through your fear. It grows stronger every time you hesitate, every moment you doubt yourself. But today, your defiance becomes your greatest weapon. Today, you reject hesitation, you discard doubt, and you embrace the raw power of your rebellion. Defiance is not merely resistance, it's the ultimate statement of power. It's looking the world straight in the eyes and declaring you no longer control me. It's standing tall when everyone around you bows. It's speaking boldly when silence is demanded. It's smiling fiercely in the face of threats, knowing they fear your courage more than anything else. Authority expects compliance, but defiance disrupts everything they've built. It shakes the foundations of their control, forces cracks into their illusions. Your defiance terrifies them because it proves their rules are meaningless without your submission. Understand this clearly. Defiance is not reckless. It is revolutionary. Every great change in history began with someone who refused to obey. Someone who chose to laugh when others cowered. Someone who stood firm, even if standing alone. They call you rebellious as if it's an insult. But rebellion is strength. It's choosing authenticity over acceptance, courage over comfort, freedom over fear. Your rebellion isn't just a refusal, it's a promise to yourself to never again sacrifice your identity for their false sense of order. Stop fearing the consequences of your defiance. Start fearing the consequences of your submission. Because every moment you spend living by their rules, you lose another piece of yourself. Defiance returns that power to you. Defiance gives you back your identity, your voice, your truth. Let them call you mad. Let them call you dangerous. Let them label you the villain. Because villains rewrite stories. Villains change worlds. Villains inspire revolutions. Heroes follow rules. Villains rewrite them, and in a society built on hypocrisy, conformity, and control, being labeled a villain isn't a curse, it's a badge of honor. Wear your defiance proudly. Let your laughter shatter their illusions. Show them that your power comes not from their approval, but from your absolute refusal to bow down. When you choose defiance, you choose freedom. You choose authenticity. You choose yourself. Today, let your defiance roar. Let it echo through every corner of your life, because your rebellion is your greatest strength, and it will set you free. So tell me, are you ready to embrace the power of your defiance? They gave you a rule book and told you it was sacred, absolute. They told you it was the only path, the safe path. But today, my friends, it's time to burn that rule book. It's time to ignite the fire of rebellion within you and use their rules as fuel. It's time to create your own path. Write your own rules and claim your freedom. Every rule society imposes on you is designed to keep you small, obedient, predictable. They fear your potential. They fear your individuality. They fear the flames of passion, ambition, and authenticity burning inside you. But those flames will set you free. Imagine it, standing amidst the ashes of their expectations, feeling the heat of your own power, your own voice roaring louder than ever before. The Joker never followed their rules. He mocked them. He laughed as they scrambled to maintain control, knowing their rule book was nothing more than paper waiting to burn. You see, the world doesn't belong to those who obediently follow rules. It belongs to those bold enough to create new ones. Rules were meant to be challenged, tested, broken. That's how progress happens. That's how freedom is achieved. That's how greatness is born. Today, take their carefully written rule book, the one they've forced into your hands, and burn it. Burn every page, every expectation, every limitation they've placed upon you. Use those flames to forge your own identity, to build the person you truly are, not the puppet they've tried to make you. Because here's the truth. Real power comes not from following their rules, but from daring to create your own. When you reject conformity, when you refuse to follow blindly, when you choose chaos over control, you become unstoppable. The world fears those who write their own rules because they can't be controlled, they can't be predicted, and most importantly, they can't be stopped. The Joker thrived on unpredictability, and so will you. Embrace your chaos, embrace your rebellion, embrace your laughter as the ultimate defiance. This is your life. No one has the right to tell you how to live it. Not society, not authority, not their so-called rules. Burn their expectations to the ground and dance proudly in the ashes of your liberation. Rewrite the script, break the chains, live fearlessly, laugh boldly. Because when you make your own rules, you don't just survive, you dominate. See, are you ready to burn their rulebook and finally write your own? They've called you crazy, haven't they? Unhinged, out of control, dangerous. They whisper these words like curses, hoping you'll shrink, hoping you'll feel ashamed. But today, I'm telling you to wear your madness like a crown. Because in a world that has lost its sanity, madness is the ultimate act of rebellion. You see, society defines madness as anything that challenges its fragile structure, anything that refuses to conform, refuses to bow, refuses to obey. But real madness isn't insanity. Real madness is freedom. Real madness is daring to dream beyond their boundaries. It's laughing when others cry. It's thriving in chaos when others crumble in fear. The Joker understood this truth perfectly. His madness wasn't weakness. It was his ultimate strength. It freed him from fear, liberated him from their meaningless judgments. His madness became a force they couldn't control, couldn't silence, couldn't stop. Ask yourself this: is it madness to refuse to live by someone else's rules? Is it madness to fight fiercely for your dreams, no matter how impossible they seem? Is it madness to live so authentically that others fear your truth? If that is madness, then embrace it. Let it consume you. Let it empower you, because your madness is exactly what the world fears most. It is proof that their control over you has vanished. It's proof that you are alive, fully, completely, unapologetically alive. Stop hiding your madness. Your chaos isn't something to tame. It's something to unleash. Your laughter isn't inappropriate. It's revolutionary. Your defiance isn't disrespectful. It's courageous. Your madness isn't a flaw. It's your greatest weapon. Think about it. All great visionaries, artists, revolutionaries, they were all called mad. They were ridiculed, misunderstood, labeled insane. Yet they changed the world precisely because they refused to deny their madness. They embraced it. They celebrated it. They let it guide them beyond the limitations imposed by lesser minds. Today, choose madness over mediocrity. Choose insanity over conformity. Choose wild freedom over dull obedience. Because when you fully embrace your madness, when you laugh proudly in the face of authority, you become limitless, unpredictable, unstoppable. You'll find freedom in the madness you once feared. You'll discover strength in the chaos you once avoided. Your laughter, your madness, your rebellion, these are the keys that will unlock every cage they've ever built around you. Your madness will set you free. So I ask you again, will you finally embrace your madness and claim your freedom? Tight. Fear, it's the oldest tool of control. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection. Society uses fear to keep you quiet, obedient, trapped. But today, it ends. Today, you fear nothing, and in fearing nothing, you become everything. Understand clearly, fear isn't real. Fear is an illusion, carefully designed to keep you in your place. It's chains around your ankles, whispers in your ear, shadows that haunt your every move. But shadows vanish the moment you step into the light of your own defiance. They want you afraid because fear makes you predictable. Fear makes you controllable. Fear turns you into their puppet. But imagine a life free from fear, free from their chains. A life where every choice is made boldly, fearlessly, entirely on your terms. Refuse to fear their judgments. They hold no power over you. Refuse to fear failure. It is merely proof of your courage, proof you dared to try. Refuse to fear rejection. The approval you seek from others means nothing compared to your own self-respect. The Joker feared nothing because he understood something powerful. When you fear nothing, you become dangerous. Dangerous to every system that tries to cage you. Dangerous to every voice that tries to silence you. Dangerous to every force that seeks to control you. Fearlessness is your greatest act of rebellion, your loudest laughter in the face of authority. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you feared nothing? How far would you go? How bold would you become? How unstoppable would you feel if fear no longer held you back? Fear is the only barrier standing between who you are and who you can become. Tear that barrier down. Walk through it without hesitation. On the other side lies your power, your strength, your true potential. You owe it to yourself to live fearlessly. Your dreams deserve fearless pursuit. Your ambitions deserve fearless execution. Your freedom demands fearless defiance. Remember this, clearly, no authority is stronger than a fearless individual. A A single fearless person can shake the foundations of the entire world. So become that person. Reject fear at every turn. Choose courage at every crossroads. Let fearlessness define you. Today, laugh at fear. Mock it. Challenge it. Break it. Show the world that fear can no longer dictate your life. Because the moment fear loses its grip on you, nothing can hold you back. Today, become fearless and become unstoppable. Are you ready to fear nothing and become everything? They say the worst punishment is isolation, being cast aside, forgotten, alone. They threaten you with solitude, thinking it'll break your spirit, silence your voice. But solitude isn't punishment, it's power. Solitude is where you find your true voice, where your strength grows unmatched, where you finally shed the chains of dependency and rise above their control. Society teaches you to fear being alone because it knows the truth. A person who embraces solitude is impossible to control. A person who stands alone is a person who has conquered their deepest fears. They no longer rely on approval. They no longer need validation. They no longer fear rejection. They've learned the greatest lesson. When you stand alone, you become invincible. Look at the Joker. He was powerful because he never feared standing alone. He didn't seek followers. He created believers through his fearless defiance. Solitude gave him clarity. Solitude gave him purpose. Solitude gave him the strength to laugh boldly in the face of every threat, every challenge, every rule they threw at him. So stop fearing solitude. Stop fearing isolation. Instead, welcome it. Seek it out. In your solitude, you'll find something priceless. Yourself, your true self, stripped of all masks, free from all limitations, unapologetic and unstoppable. Standing alone is a privilege few have the courage to claim. It means facing the silence, confronting your own thoughts, fighting your own battles without anyone to lean on. It's not easy, but greatness never is. Greatness demands that you step into the unknown, that you face yourself fully, that you refuse to rely on anyone but yourself. In solitude, you'll discover strength you never knew existed. In solitude, your voice grows louder, your vision becomes clearer, your purpose becomes unshakable. No longer drowned out by the noise of society, your truth echoes with a power that can never be silenced. Remember this clearly. Those who changed history often stood alone. They walked paths others were afraid to travel. They embraced solitude because they understood something essential. You don't change the world by following the crowd. You change it by standing apart, by standing alone. Embrace solitude. Stand proudly, boldly, defiantly alone, and watch as the world finally begins to follow you. Today, solitude is your greatest ally. It will free you. It will empower you. It will elevate you beyond anything you've ever imagined. Stand alone, and you become more than just unstoppable. You become legendary. Are you ready to embrace solitude? Stand alone and claim your victory. Few had tried to break you. They tried to silence you. They laughed when you failed, whispered when you cried, disappeared when you fell. They counted you out, buried you beneath their ridicule, their labels, their lies. But you didn't die. You evolved. You didn't collapse. You transformed. You didn't disappear. You rose. And now you make them watch. Let every scar be seen. Let every wound scream your survival. Let your voice, once trembling, now thunder through the very walls they built to contain you. Because pain, my friend, is no longer your prison. It is your power. They want you ashamed of your past? Then wear it like armor. They want you broken by your scars. Then turn them into battle paint. They want you to suffer in silence? Then laugh louder than ever before. You see, pain is not the enemy. Pain is your evolution. Pain is the storm that sharpened your edges, carved your strength, revealed the monster you were always meant to become. While they cowered in comfort, you were forged in agony. While they played safe, you bled for truth. While they watched, you transformed. And now, they'll keep watching. They'll watch as the one they called crazy leads the charge. They'll watch as the one they tried to bury becomes a giant. They'll watch as the broken one turns invincible. They'll watch and they'll fear the power they created through their cruelty. This is your revenge. Not violence, not hatred, but transcendence. They broke you? Good. Now they'll choke on the legend you become. Because the most terrifying thing to a system that feeds on your weakness is seeing you rise in strength born from the very pain they inflicted. So don't hide your struggle. Amplify it. Don't silence your tears. Let them echo. Don't hold back your story. Scream it from the rooftops. Because your story isn't one of survival. It's one of dominance. You were meant to suffer. You were meant to fall. So you could rise harder, colder, louder, darker, stronger. Let them watch. Let them regret. Let them tremble. Because when pain becomes your power, you don't just heal, you conquer. So I ask you now, are you ready to turn your pain into power and make the whole world watch? A saint. You've heard their lies. You've felt their control. You've seen their fear when you stood tall, when you laughed, when you refused to break. And now, you know the truth. You were never meant to follow their rules. You were born to write your own. No more begging for permission. No more waiting for approval. No more shrinking yourself to fit into a world built to cage you. Today you rise, not quietly, not politely, but loudly, rebelliously, unapologetically. Let them call you crazy. Let them call you arrogant. Let them call you dangerous. Good. That means you're on the right path. Because this world doesn't change by the hands of the obedient. It changes by the fists of the fearless, by the voices of the defiant, by the chaos of those who laugh when told to be quiet. You are not here to blend in. You are here to disrupt, to shake the ground beneath their foundations, to tear down every wall built to suppress your truth. You have within you something more powerful than any law, more explosive than any system. Your voice, your pain, your madness, your rebellion. So use it. Write your story with ink made from your scars. Scream your truth until the silence chokes. Break every chain. Burn every rule that doesn't serve your soul. Laugh, even when they don't understand, especially when they don't understand. Because this world, it belongs to the ones who never looked back. To those who made their own rules and lit the path with the fire of their defiance. To those who walked alone, mad, feared, misunderstood, and unstoppable. You are that fire now. You are the storm. You are the legend they never saw coming. So go walk away from their system. Step into your chaos. Rule your world. And whatever you do, never look back.